just want to show you how to do a search using a systematic process and some Boolean terms. The first thing we want to do is go to our databases in the VU library. And today I'm going to search EBSCO host, which is essentially a mega database that brings together a whole bunch of other databases that kind of makes searching a little bit quicker. So if we go here to the EBSCO host research databases, we click on that, and we then get a screen that asks us which journals we want to look at or which other databases. So we'll have the ebook collection, and because we're searching youth justice and education terms, we want to have ERIC, which is the Education Resource Information Center, and open dissertations. There's a lot of good research in there, and psych info. So those are the other databases. So essentially there's a lot of journals in each one of these, and if you click more information you can just sort of see what else is in there. But essentially each one has multiple journals, and it tells you what's in there and how to search for things, etc. So once you've selected which databases within EBSCOhost you want to use, you just click continue. And then we're at the interface that we get to actually start searching. So first I'll just search one set of terms at a time. So you can see the process where you get a whole range of articles with the really broad search terms that you have. And then as you progress through the searches, it narrows down because you're using a series of or and statements. So it's important here to check off a few things first. You want them to find all my search terms. We want to limit it by year. So we'll go 2010 to essentially last week. So we get the most current ones. And then we'll leave a lot of this the same for now. So we'll include books and journal articles. We won't make any specific limitations, except we'll put that we want our articles in English, and that's all we'll do for now. So the first thing that we'll do is just put in a series of our search terms that I have. The first ones are from the population. So we're working with young people, so we want to look at the terms that we would use for this group of young people who are incarcerated. So it could be any of these. And we have bunny ears around some of these terms so that they're searched together. We have an asterisk on the end of some of them so that it picks up words like teenager, teenagers. So anything after the asterisk will be picked up. Adolescent, adolescents. And so we have those. So that's our first set of terms, and we're going to look in the abstracts for those terms. So we'll pick up articles that have young people or youth or child or children or teenager, etc. So we'll just click search, see what we get. And obviously, because those are such common terms and a lot of research is about young people, we're getting almost 500,000. So this is our first search, and you can see it's given you what the current search is on the left side, how many are journals, dissertations, reports, etc. And you can click on any of these to kind of see based on what the studies have highlighted in terms of age or language or publishing. So we'll get rid of that one, and we'll put in our other string of terms just to see what that gives us. And if we're just adding in a whole range of other terms, and we're placing it right in here, it'll keep the same filters that we've already clicked on. So our results will be refined in the same way that they are here. So I've put these in again, and let's go ahead and have a search. So these are our topic 1 areas. So all the words that we can think of that would work for education, so school, learning, teaching. So let's search. So for this one, we got even more. We got closer to 1 million this time. So that's a lot of terms. So you can see the same kinds of filters on the left side and how the results fall. So we'll do one last one just to show how broad these searches are. Grab my last set of terms, which is really around justice, youth justice, or words linked to youth justice, so incarceration, detention, offending. And again, we want to look in the abstract, and we want to see what we get here. And so this will include all studies that use these terms in the abstract. So for this set, we get 89,000. So we've done those 3 separate searches just to see that if you put in one string of words, you obviously get a really huge search. Now the idea is to combine these together using AND so that we can narrow our searches. So basically it'll ask for any of these terms, justice or remand or incarceration or MN, etc., only when it's paired with. So the next thing is the AND, when it's paired with education or those terms, when it's paired with young people and those terms. So the way that you can see, there's 2 ways to do this. You can go back and look at your search history to see what you've done. Basically, you get a little summary if you go to the search history. And you can see search 1 is young people. You can see search 2 is education. And you can see that the last one we did was justice. And it gives you the results for each of those. So we had quite big numbers altogether. So one way I can do it is to click all of these and say, I want to search with AND. And that should give us a much, much smaller number because it's asking it to search for these particular terms in combination with other ones. So search 4 was essentially all of those strings with each other. So you have 8,133, and these are looking really relevant. So the other way to do this is to simply place in each line of these your search terms for each category, and make sure that you have the AND in between. Make sure you have abstract for all of them, and that you have set your search limitations over on the left side when you initially search. We have all resources for now. And again, if we search this, which the search has already been done, but if we search this, we get a much smaller number. You'll notice the numbers aren't exactly the same, and that might be because in the last one we accidentally included one of the other strings with it, but they're quite similar. So 7,000, around 8,000, and we're getting a lot of the exact same, very relevant publications right up front. You can see that we can also change it to look at, if we just wanted journal articles, how that might change our results. So again, just journal articles on this search, and we only have 1,500. So that changes a lot of what it's pulling up as well, because it appears that a lot of the really relevant work in this area is done with books. So that's one way that you can do, or two different ways that you can do these kinds of searches, and you should be getting much smaller numbers. And from there, you can just start scrolling through and seeing which ones you think are most relevant and that you want to put the time in to read. So that's essentially how you do a search using Boolean terms.